We be planting some acres. Old school, new school. Okay guys, this is exciting stuff happening. We're towards the end of our planting, and we've gotten the opportunity to demo a brand new 580 Case Quad Track paired up with a brand new 3555 Precision Air Cart and a 500 DS Precision Disc Drill. We got to learn a little bit about this unit at a farm show a couple months ago. We haven't ran a disc drill on this farm since probably the early 80s, maybe 70s. This is a major upgrade. Disc drills typically didn't do well in this country because the ground got pretty hard and there wasn't enough downforce to penetrate through the crust. Well, things have changed since then. And the downforce that this drill can apply is impressive. Thanks to Case IH for offering us this demo through Torgerson's. Torgerson's is our local case dealer, and they brought this bad boy out here, and we are gonna play with it. I can't wait to run it. Just so you guys know, I have never driven a quad track before. That's pretty awesome. You know, it's gonna be fun to see the differences. This isn't a comparison between Big Buds and Case quad tracks or old flex coil drills and new Case IH precision disc drill. It's more so a chance for us to experience new tech. But I am obviously going to compare it to old tech because, well, that's all I know. And I think a lot of you guys would probably be curious too. What do we think about this compared to the old stuff? So let's get to it. Want to take a look at her? I do. Ready? I'm sure some of you are probably going, well, if it's just a demo, Nick, then how come your logo's on it? Because we had a spare magnet, and I thought it would look cool being on it. This is not a replacement for our Big Buds. This is not an addition to our Big Buds. This isn't a unit that we're using just to replace the one with the bad transmission that we actually already got fixed and is running again. This is just merely a time for us to try out this machine and that drill. Man, this leather, the visibility straight up is so much better than that tractor. He can't hear me. This cab's pretty quiet. I'm sure he can read maybe lip movements, but we've got 6 remotes, our PTO, all your 3555 cart controls and drill will take place here. So that's where you'll do all your metering, your fan speeds, all that stuff. And here's our TP-Link. This is for the Intelligent Ag wireless blockage system. If you guys didn't know, Case IH uses the Intelligent Ag blockage system that we run on our air drills on their air drills too. So it comes factory with that. So I'll be able to run that system on here too, which is awesome because that's such a great system. Let's get up on top of the cart. I haven't ever really tried one of these before. It's in transport mode right now, so there's a lot of guards and railings that got to be folded down, but I think first thing you got to do is pull the ladder down. Man, this ladder's long. Okay. Well, I am definitely a few feet taller than the other cart. We have a 4350 air cart. That's 430 bushels. This holds 550 bushels, so it's a good 100 and some bushels more. But the walkway up here is pretty nice. I mean, you're got to be 12, 15 feet up in the air. That's awesome. And there's 3 hoppers on this cart, even though it looks like there's 4 actual gates or doors to open up, but they're pretty simple. Looks like you just take it, swing it around. Nice big hatch. I mean, compared to other ones, that's much better. Wow. And this is the big hopper in the back. I believe it's 290 bushels. All right, well, we got one of the reps out from Torgerson's, and he's gonna help us calibrate this unit. So we got our trucks fired up for the seed and fertilizer, and I'm gonna fire the quad track up, and we're gonna go through the calibration settings on the monitor, get the bags out there to calibrate this drill with our wheat, because our wheat could be a different weight than whatever was in here previously. And I actually saw a couple chickpeas in there, so I think that was what was ran in here last time, so we definitely got to calibrate this thing, and for our fertilizer too. And then once it's calibrated, we can fill her up, take her to the field, and get to work. Let's start it up. She's quiet. I think we're good to go. Let's take the tractors to the field and get to work. All right, things are going good. It took a second. Had a little bit of adjustments we had to do to the depth, and getting all the double shoot system figured out and running, but as you can see, we be planting some acres. Old school, new school. Got brand new Case IH equipment, an old school Big Bud Flexicoil, which is now Case equipment. This is fun. This is exciting. Right away, let me just tell you, the steering on this is so light. Like, just my finger can turn it. You know, our buds are good, but this thing is definitely lighter. I think another thing too is I'm so used to the easy steer motor being on here. That makes it difficult too. Oh, this is pretty slick. Wow. It's so weird not seeing tires turning in front of me. It feels like I'm just floating. I can kind of see my tracks in the back. But yeah, there is no tracks in front of me at all. I can't see my front tracks at all. This is really neat. It's actually laying the seed about an inch deep, and then offset from the seed about an inch down and a half inch over is the fertilizer. It's laying a row of fertilizer right next to it. So there's no way you're gonna get seed damage done to the urea being in the ground, the nitrogen. So we could actually put on a lot more fertilizer than we're putting on right now, but because this is the rate that we've been doing, we're gonna stick with it. This thing is quiet. Wow. What's fun to do is to watch each individual opener as the discs ride along the ground, because there's downforce on this. Our other drill didn't have hydraulic downforce. This does. This is a precision drill. And so it's actually gliding or riding the surface of the field perfectly. Whether there's a dip, a ditch, a washout, a gopher hole, a badger mound, that disc goes up, down, and it puts that seed in the same depth no matter where it's going. It's amazing. It's amazing. And this, I know this tractor's got a lot of horsepower, but it doesn't feel like it's working at all, which I would suppose the disc drill, there's very little disturbance, so it doesn't have to work that hard to pull this. I imagine your fuel economy is a little better with the disc. I'm told that I can actually plant at almost 8 miles an hour. Right now I'm doing just about 6.2. Let's kick it up a little bit. Let's see what happens. Okay, that's 7.5 right now. Let's give it more gas. All right, that's 8 miles an hour right now. You would never do this in a hoe drill. I imagine if your soil was very mellow, like right now I'm going this bottom down here, not a lot of rocks. This is pretty soft ground. It's just slicing right through that soil. There's no issue at all. I could probably run at 8 miles an hour. Not a big deal at all. It'd probably do just fine. Get a lot of acres covered at that. Wow. about to get to where my dad was seeding in the Big Bud. Let's get out. I want to look at the ground and I want to see what kind of depth the seed's seeding at. I want to see seed placement, a bunch of things. So let me turn around here and let's just stop this. I'm really curious to see how this compares. Our drill is 9-inch spacing. That disc drill is 10-inch spacing. So this is, right now, I'm on our 5000 series 57-foot flex coil. So let's take a look at what this looks like. There it is, right there. That's a little deep right there. Let's check over here. And if I go in the tire tracks, which is right here, look at that. That's just barely below the surface. Now this is the disc drill. I just planted this. Let's take a look at the tire tracks, see what this looks like. Now there should be 2 rows. There should be fertilizer and seed. Okay, there's the seed, that's good. That's good placement right there. And there, that's the fertilizer. So that's the unique thing with this openers on this disc drill. We'll drop the seed at your designated depth, which we decided at about 1 inch. And then it'll actually take the fertilizer and kick it down about 1/2 inch and over about 1 inch, which is right here. So if you can see that shelf there, that's the beauty, because what happens if you put fertilizer down with seed too much, it'll burn the seed and it'll kill it. I'm really excited to see what this looks like this year. That's going to be the testing factor, and that's one reason why we were excited to do this demo. Is on this side we got 2018 technology. On this side we've got more like 1990s technology. And it'll be interesting to see the stand difference in our wheat as it grows, which side looks better, because we're putting the same amount of fertilizer down and putting the same amount of seed down. Here's another thing that's got to happen. As you can see, I've got about a 25-30 foot swath here that I'm going to have to overseed. If it were using our drill, it would seed 57 feet into what I've already seeded to get that 30 feet right here. So you'd be wasting product doubling up your seed in the areas you've already planted. This drill has what's called sectional control, kind of like a sprayer. So I can actually seed through here and it won't put product down where I determine it. So I'm gonna set only just the sections that I'm gonna be driving across when I seed this. And then the discs will just lightly ride along where it's already planted. They're not invasive, that they won't disturb the seed that's already been put in the ground. That's cool, isn't it? Wow, let's try it. All right, well, I don't know what I'm doing here, so I'm gonna figure this out as I go, but I believe this is my sectional control here. So let's turn off a couple of these. There, as you can see here. You know what, on second thought, no, let's do this differently. Let's turn these off, turn these on, and leave just one pass on the wing like that. You can see that little bit of glare. But I've got basically half the drill seeding right now, because I'm a little over half of the drill is seeded ground already. Half this drill is planted and half of it is not. I hope I did the right side, otherwise I'm seeding on that side, not this side, but I think it's right. Pretty cool. Got the seed truck. Let's take this conveyor. Yes, I said conveyor, not auger. Conveyor. Conveyors are awesome. Except for I do have one problem, which I'll show you guys in a second, which that does kind of have with our setup here. But we'll get the conveyor out, we'll get it all set up, and let's load this up with some seed and get back to work. It's remote controlled. I know a lot of you guys probably run this thing and you're like, yeah, Nick, we knew that. They've had those out forever. But I haven't seen one of these, so yeah, I'm excited, okay? Oh. Isn't that pretty cool? Here's our problem. Our treat. Well, in an auger, we use the auger to do the mixing when you treat your wheat. The problem with the conveyor is there's not much action. So when I put this here to spray, it's just gonna spray some of the wheat. It's not gonna get all of it. It's not gonna mix very well. In order to combat this situation, we would have to pre-treat our seed before we even put it in the truck to put it in the cart. So we're just gonna put as much as we can, treat as much as we can. We don't have a lot of acres to do. Not a big deal. But if we had one of these, we would change the way we do this because we need augers to mix this. So we would be treating into our trucks, not from our trucks into the drill. All right, let's get fired up. speed controls right here. This thing can really whip if you wanted to. That's full speed. Well, after seeing the day, we realized we gotta change the rate a little bit. And tomorrow's Mother's Day, so we shut down. So I'm just grabbing my camera gear. We're gonna park this girl, I guess leave it parked here, and we'll pick this up Monday. But I can't wait to get back in action. Got more acres to plant. This thing's awesome. It's exciting.